Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. If you're new to my channel, my name is Megan and I'm really glad that you're here. What I do on this channel is give weekly garden tours so that you can see the transformation of my garden from week to week. But I also share videos in between on preserving or harvesting or overwintering your pepper plants. And I also share shorts on food that I use from my garden to make at-home meals for my family. But what we're going to do today, as I just mentioned, is I'm going to show you how I overwinter my pepper plants. I did start my pepper plants late this year, but the ones that I did overwinter from last year were the first ones that gave me peppers this year. And so I wanted to do it again with some different pepper plants. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So let's get started. So before I start to show you how I overwinter my pepper plants, in this bed were the leftover pepper plants that I did not get a chance to put into my raised beds. There's a raised bed back there in my garden that we didn't get a chance to put in. And so I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to show you how I overwinter it. And then up here in my garden, I'm going to actually show you the pepper plants that I did overwinter. Now, before I actually plant that pepper plant and I show you what I do want to show you these. All of these right here are my pepper plants that I overwintered, and they were the first ones that gave me peppers. So just to kind of show you, this is a jalapeno pepper. You can see all those flowers. There's fruit that's budding. This one is my, like a yellow jalapeno pepper. It's called New Lemix, but look at all the fruit on here. It's a lot of peppers. They're supposed to look like this yellow one. The one that's been giving me a ton of peppers has been the poblanos. These have been giving me consistent peppers every single week. Here's another one, and there's a ton of flower buds too. And then here's another one. And then the bell peppers have been doing amazing as well. So these are actually ready to harvest. Here's some green ones right here. Another green one right here. So for me, I think it's completely worth overwintering. That's just my opinion. Not everybody does it. It can be a pain in the butt, especially if you don't have a garage or you don't have the space for it. But if you're considering it, I'm going to show you how I do it. And then hopefully if you try it, it'll be one of your plants that gives you fruit come next spring. What I'd like to do now is show you all the supplies that I use to plant my pepper plants. And you guys, you'll have to excuse any noise in the background. I have neighbors outside grilling and they're outside with their kiddos because it's really beautiful out. But this is the Kellogg's potting mix. Let me show you real quick the soil though that I have been using from the very beginning. And that is Bacto soil. This stuff is amazing. Now you can't just purchase this at a Home Depot or a Lowe's. You'd have to look up where they sell it. But it has gone up in price, which is why I'm trying to look for alternatives. One of them being Kellogg's. I had seen it before and heard about it, and so I went ahead and purchased this. Now I have used this soil in these buckets in my bucket garden and they've done very, very well. So I probably am going to start using this for my bags and my buckets. The next one is the Black Cow compost. This has been my tried and true. I've been using this from the very beginning and I love this, so we're going to use that today. And then we're going to top it off with this garden straw from the company called Healthy Straw. They're out of Canada. Wonderful company, wonderful straw. I've been using this for a long time, and it helps to keep the soils maintain moisture, but also protect the roots as well. So we're going to use this. Okay, so here's our pepper plant that we're going to overwinter. It is a bell pepper. It is called Orange Sun. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to plant this in a grow bag, a 1-gallon grow bag, and we're going to overwinter it. So here's the grow bag that I plan to use. It's by the brand Vivo Sun. I do have in the description below these bags in case you're interested in purchasing them. But these are, other than the smart pots, I do really enjoy these, and I have not had any issues with these falling apart. Now the green ones that you saw on some of my wintered pepper plants, those ones I don't like because the handles came off, but these have been really good, which is why I linked them down below if you're interested. So we're just gonna fill this up with some potting mix as well as some black cow and then put our pepper plant in. All right, friends, due to the background noise, I'm just going to explain some parts with a voiceover. All I'm doing is taking the black cow compost and the potting mix and filling the bag about a third full, and then I'm going to mix them together. And the reason I'm not filling it up all the way yet is because we're going to take the pepper plant out of the pot and place it into the grow bag here, and then put the remaining compost and potting soil over the roots of the plant almost all the way to the top. Next, we're going to grab our pepper plant and place it into our 1 gallon grow bag. I do want to mention though that for a pepper plant, you can place it into a 3, 5, or even a 7 gallon grow bag, which my peppers from last year were placed in those sizes. And those sizes are suggested for peppers, but I want to try 1 gallon this year to experiment, especially because they don't take up a lot of space. I'm definitely one that loves to test things because you never know unless you try. So here's a close-up of the roots of the plant, and it's okay if some of the soil falls, but where I'm pointing is where the soil meets the stem of the plant, and you don't want to bury it too much with soil and compost, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Where I am pointing along the stem above the roots and where my finger is pointing at is where I plan to have the soil and compost go up to, just so that the roots are protected. And this is where I want to have the plant placed in the bag. So I'm going to hold it with one hand as I fill the rest of the bag with soil and compost. And there's no need to fertilize because we're going to overwinter, so we don't want to grow the plant. We want it to be dormant, but by giving it some compost in there, it will give it some nutrients as it sits dormant throughout the winter. And I did not give it fertilizer throughout the winter either. Here, I'm showing you where the stem meets the compost and the soil, and then by using my finger, I'm showing you that I'm leaving about an inch of space to be able to put the straw around the top to insulate the soil and the roots. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, I was able to put this plant up a little bit higher so that you could see this a whole lot better. But I'm gonna take this garden straw and I'm just going to put it around the pepper plant, so that, like I said, it retains moisture and protects the soil. And that's all you're gonna do. Now, you don't wanna fertilize this because, as I said previously, you don't wanna feed it. You just want to overwinter it and hold it. Now, when it comes closer to the winter time, you're gonna want to take off all of these leaves, and it's gonna literally just be the stems right here. That's all you're gonna want, because you're not trying to grow it over winter unless you have grow lights and the right temperatures inside. But we're just trying to overwinter it so that next year it'll just start to grow as the weather starts to warm up. Okay, so now that we've already planted our pepper plant, the last thing I'm gonna do now is water it in. You can see it's a little bit wobbly, just because we just freshly planted it. And so I'm gonna water it in to kind of acclimate it into its new home. And now we have our overwintered pepper plant. So I don't know about you, but that excites me because as I said before, I've had such great success with overwinter pepper plants that I'm already looking forward to this come spring. So friends, I hope that this was helpful for you. I know for me, when I wanted to experiment with overwintering my pepper plants, I wasn't really sure what was gonna happen. But when the spring came around and I brought them out here and they started to grow, and they ended up being the first pepper plants that gave me peppers and then stayed consistent throughout the summer, I knew it was worth overwintering my pepper plants, which is why I really wanted to do a video to show you how I did that. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you think about overwintering your pepper plants, because I personally think it is so well worth it. So thanks for stopping by, and I really look forward to seeing you all next time. Bye. And remember, friends, be encouraged, stay encouraged, and always stay inspired. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.